Everyone enjoyed the trip. They did camping after climbing a little bit down the mountain where it was suitable. They set their tent there and slept for the night, and in the morning they again started climbing down. After that they also went to the near visiting areas. Most beautiful part was the sunset and the sunrise. That was the most beautiful thing on the mountain. It just looked so much elegant and ethereal. Seeing Taeyang and Jimin being more close to each other did make Mahi a little bit confused and jealous. She knew that Jimin wasn't into girls, but she just liked him and thought there might be some chances. It's not like it can't be changed. But seeing the case now, she thought it is truly impossible to change this time because the behavior of both of them towards each other was something different than the usual bonds of friends. As they completed their trip and headed back to their houses, they were again caught up with the studies of university. As their semester started, everyone was busy in their own semesters, and the semester was really fun because Jimin and Taeyang were mostly together while Taeyang was already in love and Jimin was trying to figure out his feelings. Jimin didn't know what his feelings were, neither did he knew that why he liked Taeyang. He was totally messed up with his own thoughts, but it was nice for him to be with Taeyang. He just enjoyed it. And by the end of the second semester of his university, he was confirmed that he had fallen for Taeyang. He was just in love, and he had no reasons why he was in love. As it was the semester break, Jimin and his classmates planned to do a party just for fun and to refresh their minds. They were planning to go on another trip, but it got cancelled because Jin and Namjoon were going to their hometown, and without them, nobody wanted to go to any trip. It was evening time. Jimin hurriedly ran out of the house as he said loudly to Yoongi to close the door. Taeyang wasn't home, so Yoongi got up and closed the door. Jimin sat in a taxi as he made his way to the restaurant they were going to do the party. He was going to go with Jungkook, but Jungkook also cancelled it at the last moment just because he wanted to sleep. Of course, he played games the whole night and almost the half of the day. He will surely be tired. Jimin finally arrived at the restaurant after about 10 minutes. He ran inside. Thankfully, he wasn't much late. They all started their party, dancing and having fun with each other. One of the guys suggested to drink. Even all the students there agreed to it, but Jimin wasn't agreeing. In the end, he had to drink because of the pressure of his friends. He didn't drink much, but he had really very less alcohol tolerance. So, with just two shots, he was totally drunk. It was already night, so he planned to leave from there, taking out his phone and calling Yoongi to get him from there because he was, of course, too much drunk to even get a taxi for himself. Yoongi immediately picked up the call as he heard Jimin shouting on the other side. Yoongi, yeah, my ears. Do you want to get me deaf? Jimin, just pick me up. He said in a drunken voice. Yoongi, wait, did you drink? Who told you to drink? Jimin, yeah, just pick me up. He said again. Yoongi, I'm not going. Come by yourself. Don't you know my leg is sprained? How do you think I will be coming to pick you up? I won't be able to walk myself. How will be I picking you up from there? Just call Taehyung, he will go. He's of course not back yet, he said and hung up the call, thinking to call Taehyung, but when he did, it already was showing that he was on another call. Yoongi, you are really fast, he said as he kept the phone aside. While with Taehyung, he was coming back to his house after doing his work outside and he got a call. He picked up immediately when he saw Jimin's number, but when he heard his voice, he was quite taken aback because it was first time he heard Jimin in such voice. It was truly cute for him, and it definitely was cute. And he couldn't believe that Jimin rang. He immediately asked the driver to take a U-turn because the way was on the opposite side, but not much far. The driver took him to the restaurant where Jimin was. While Taeyang was still on call with Jimin, they reached the restaurant as Taeyang immediately came out of the car and ran towards the restaurant. Jimin was standing outside the restaurant while resting his back on the wall and looking down. As Taeyang arrived there, he called out Jimin. Taeyang, Jimin. Jimin slowly looked up towards Taeyang and smiled. Jimin, so you are finally here, he said, standing up straight but couldn't and fell on Taeyang. Taeyang held him, laughing at Jimin's silliness. Taeyang, let's go home. Jimin, no, I don't want to go. Taeyang, you only called me to get you. Then why not? Jimin, first tell me, why is he not confessing yet? Taeyang, who? Jimin, the boy I liked. Taeyang, what? His voice cracked, and the sadness in his eyes was clearly visible. Jimin, I know he likes me, but he is not confessing yet. Taeyang, who is it? Jimin, I said the one I like. Taeyang, I mean, what is his name? Jimin, why do I have to tell it? You don't tell me. But why does he have to hide it for so long? Why can't he just confess? Taeyang, well, you you can confess if he doesn't. He said the sentence but felt like someone had kept a huge stone on his chest. He felt really very heavy. Jimin, I don't want to confess. He should have courage to at least confess to me. If he liked me, then why is he not confessing yet? Taeyang, maybe he might be scared. Jimin, it's not like I will kill him if he does. What will go if he does nothing? What is there to be scared? Am I a monster? Taeyang, definitely not. But it's not easy. He said, thinking about himself, how he is still not able to express his feelings and confess, unknown about the fact that Jimin was talking about him only. Jimin, but still, trying won't do anything, right? Taeyang, yes, it won't. Can we just go home? Jimin, but he needs to confess first. Taeyang, he is not here. He will maybe later. Shall we just go home? Jimin, no. He is here. It shouldn't be taken to any other day anymore. He should confess right now. Taeyang, but how will he know he should confess right now? We might be busy in partying, right? Let's just leave for now. Come on, let's go. He said, holding on to Jimin and dragging him from there while Jimin just kept on protesting. Taeyang still felt heavy in his heart, so he was quiet the whole way back, while Jimin just kept on asking the same question and saying he won't kill just because he confessed. They reached their building as Taeyang paid the driver and picked up Jimin on his back. Jimin definitely loved piggy rides, so he happily jumped onto Taeyang. His face was close enough for Taehyung's heartbeat to rise, causing him to forget the smell of alcohol that came from Jimin's outfit and mouth. Jimin, you are so good. Young didn't even came to take me. You are the best, Jimin said. His voice was like a sleepy child, but Taeyang didn't say anything. Taeyang, if I am good, then why don't you like me? He murmured. Jimin, what did you say? Taeyang, oh, nothing. Jimin, I heard it. You said I don't like you, right? Taeyang, no, I didn't. Jimin, anyway, I like you the most, he said, kissing on Taeyang's cheeks, which was unexpected for Taeyang. He was totally taken aback by Jimin's actions. He couldn't stop his heart, but he knew he did this because he is drunk, or else Jimin wouldn't do this, and maybe too much drunk. He took them to the apartment and laid him in his room, removing his shoes and jacket. He switched on the AC and left from there and went to his room, sitting against his bed, the floor, holding onto his knees. Yeah, whom do you like, Jimmy? Can that person be me? But how do you know that I like you? If it is me, I don't think you know it. Because there is no one who can tell you that I like you. Since I didn't told anyone, they just know that I like someone, but they don't know that the person I like is you. Actually, no. They don't even know that I not only like the person, I love the person. I love you, Jimin. But is it me? Can it be me if it's not me? Who is it? He kept his head on his knees, closing his eyes for a while, and then looked up. Hey, I'm right. You said I should try. I think I should really give it a try. Shouldn't I? Yep, I should. But what if you reject me? I'm not scared that you will kill me or you are a monster. Because you definitely are not going to do or you are. But the thing I am scared of is getting rejected. At least I can love you without knowing your perspective. But once I propose you, I will know your perspective. And I won't be able to love you anymore. Or maybe I will keep loving you, but it will hurt. Well, shall we just give it a try? He asked to himself. After cursing himself for almost half of the night, he went to sleep, agreeing to propose. He wasn't going to do any kind of decoration and all. He would just convey his feelings to Jimin. He didn't want it to be grand, just as simple as they are. But the answer of Jimin still haunted him the whole night. The other day followed as Jimin got up late in the morning with a heavy head. There was a hangover soup in the bowl which Jimin liked the most, with a short note, eat it when you wake up. He took the glass first, drinking some water, and then took the bowl, knowing it was from Taeyang, because definitely Yoongi won't do it. Well, he also had morning classes, so he won't be even able to do that. Jimin knew about what happened the other night. He didn't forget anything, and he also knew what all he told Taeyang. He was just wishing Taeyang to confess without being scared. But he was also scared what if he didn't, thinking that I like someone else and it is not him. It was risky to do, but he didn't want him to keep borrowing his feelings in his heart. He wanted it to come out, so he reached this. As the day followed, Jimin did his usual work and sat to do his homework again. Both Yoongi and Hyung were not home. He had some morning classes, which was an extra class for those who were interested, and Yoongi wanted to join, so he did. About Hyung, Jimin didn't know where he was since he left the morning, and Jimin wasn't awake at that time. Hyung returned later with the grocery bags and some of files in his hands. They were his assignments that he had to print and parallel it. Jimin was hoping for Taehyung to confess him, but as the day came towards an end, his hope just kept on getting reduced. He couldn't understand why it was, but Taehyung didn't even try to confess. There was no sign of confessing or trying to confess. All he did was normal work they do, but he didn't know Taehyung was trying, but he couldn't try to say it, but he just couldn't bring his feelings to words. They were totally stuck in his throat. He wanted to confess but failed because of his fear and nervousness of getting the answer. The night came as he didn't confess. For some days it kept on going, and their university also started. It was lunch time. Whole university was filled with noise, and people were roaming in the corridors and outside. Taeyang and Jimin finished their lunch as they headed to the rooftop. They hadn't visited it since the university closed after the last semester. They always missed that place because the view and air was really very good and fresh. They could just sit in comfortable silence and look at the sky silently with no one speaking single word. They just admired the beauty of the sky and nature. While they were sitting, a sudden thought raced through Taeyang's mind. Where was both of their favorite place? And he thought it would be great to confess in this place because it has a lots of memories of them. But again, his fear stopped him to do so. Taeyang, um, Jimin, Jimin, yeah, Taeyang, the, the one you like confessed? Jimin, no, not yet. Taeyang, oh, okay. Well, I had something to tell. Jimin, yeah, what is it? He said, his eyes showing curiosity and hope. Taeyang, well, don't know how to put it into words. Jimin, understand? I can't understand your eyes. Can't read to understand. Yeah, maybe because I am myself confused. Well, I told you about the person I like. Jimin, yeah. Yeah, I am thinking to confess him. Jimin, oh, for a second, Jimin doubted the thing that Taeyang liked him. Taeyang, what do you think? Should I do? Or they just be in love and enjoy being in love? Jimin, you should. Because you won't be able to bear it if it is too deeper. The deeper the love is, the deeper the pain is. So you should confess. Taeyang, you wanted to know who I like. Jimin, yeah, of course I did. Who is he? Taeyang, you. I don't know how to put it into words or to express my feeling. All I know is I love you. I have no reasons why I love you, but I just do. Jimin, it is. Taeyang, what? Jimin, person I love. He confessed. I mean, the person I love finally confessed. And what? Was was it me? Jimin, of course. Who else can it be? But how did you know I liked you? Jimin, Jimin, I wouldn't have known if you wouldn't have made me wear the headphone. I wouldn't have known if you wouldn't have brought me here. Because you don't bring anyone here. I wouldn't have known if you wouldn't have been scared after kissing me. It's just I realized my love you now. Or else maybe my feelings were there since the time I saw you. Not in real life, but in the pictures. You always seemed the most mysterious from all of them. And I didn't know I would be able to unfold your mysteries, to know what you want to say just by looking at you. I was never able to do it with anyone else other than you. I don't know how, but whenever I look into your eyes, it seems like they are telling me something. And maybe it was because I was truly interested in you and I was really curious to know about you. But didn't realize that it was love. Hey, really? Jimin, yes, I love you. Taehyung was too stunned to speak. He was just looking at Jimin with an unbelievable look. He wasn't able to believe what Jimin just said. Was it really him? Was the person who Jimin loved was him? Jimin, do you want me to say it again? Because I think you are not able to believe it. Well, what you are thinking is true. It's not a dream, neither is it your imagination. I really confess. So did you. And the person I like is you. Sorry. Love. I love you. Taehyung pulled Jimin into a hug as Jimin hugged him back. Embracing each other was a great start of their new life. They believed they could make it to their end, and they were willing to do it. They were ready to embrace each challenge together. Jimin did saved himself for the person he would spend his life with because it was Taeyang. As the days passed, their love grew more and more. With each passing second, their bond became more stronger.